You know, picking a premium electric car these days, it's about way more than just specs and range. It's really about choosing a philosophy, a whole mindset about what a car should even be. And wow, nowhere is that choice clearer than between these two, the established pioneer, Tesla, and the super ambitious challenger, Zeekr.
Okay, so let's put you in the driver's seat for this whole thing. Let's say you've got about $40,000 ready to go for a new EV. What do you really care about? Are you all about the software, the ecosystem, and the absolute cutting-edge tech? Or is it that tangible luxury, that deep comfort, and an interior just packed with features? Your answer is probably going to point you straight to one of these two cars.
And this is really the heart of it, right? On one side you have Tesla. Let's be honest, it's a tech company that happens to make cars, all built around its incredibly mature software. It's all about efficiency and intelligence. And then on the other side, you've got Zeekr, which just comes out swinging with a laser focus on the hardware, the physical, tangible quality and comfort that you can actually see and feel. Two completely different promises for the same pile of cash.
All right, first up, let's really dig into what makes Tesla, well, Tesla. You have to understand, they're not just building a car. They're creating a rolling piece of technology, and the software is absolutely the star of the show.
See, the thing about Tesla is its real power goes way beyond the car itself. You're buying into this entire ecosystem. The supercharger network, it's simply unmatched for its size and reliability, which is, a game changer for road trips. Its real-world efficiency is kind of legendary at this point. And then, of course, there's full self-driving, or FSD, which is still the benchmark for driver assistance systems. Best of all, the car you buy today literally gets better over time thanks to those constant over-the-air updates.
And once you get inside, that whole tech-first vibe is impossible to miss. The team at Chasing Cars puts it perfectly. The cabin is just super minimal. It's this clean, almost stark look that really appeals to people who want a futuristic, clutter-free space. It's a design that's defined more by what isn't there than what is.
But that minimalism, it leads to what is probably its most controversial feature. Pretty much everything. Your wipers, your mirrors, even putting the car in drive or reverse, it's all done through that giant central screen. If you're a tech lover, you'll probably think it's brilliant. But if you're someone who just wants a physical button for the wipers, well, it can be a real source of frustration. That's a core part of the Tesla deal. You kind of have to be all in on that idea.
Okay, so let's switch gears and talk about the challenger. If Tesla's all about the software, Zeekr is 100% all about the hardware. This is a car that's built from the ground up to wow you with its physical presence and luxurious feel from the second you open the door.
And trust me, that luxury feel is no accident. As one former Tesla owner pointed out, the lead designer for this thing used to work at Bentley. That tells you everything you need to know, right? It immediately positions the brand in that premium space, aiming for a heavy dose of European design and substance.
And would you just look at the list of features that come standard? We're talking Napa leather and Alcantara everywhere. Seats that massage you, heat you, and cool you. Premium sound systems, plus adaptive air suspension for a super smooth ride. And here's the kicker. Especially for anyone who's not a fan of Tesla's minimalism, Zeekr gets you a proper instrument cluster right behind the steering wheel and a heads-up display. It's a totally different world inside this car.
You know, that quote from the former Tesla owner just perfectly sums up the whole divide, doesn't it? The fact that a Tesla doesn't have a head-up display is a very deliberate choice. It's about minimalism. For Zeekr, including one is also a very deliberate choice. It's about conventional driver comfort. It's the perfect example of that software-first versus hardware-first battle.
Okay, so philosophy is one thing, but what about the real world? How do these two actually stack up when the rubber hits the road? Let's look at the numbers that really matter to you as a buyer: performance, range, and what it costs to own.
So when you look at the raw data, you start to see some really interesting trade-offs. Yeah, the Model Y performance is a hair quicker off the line. It's also more efficient on the highway, hanging on to about 75% of its range versus the Zeekr at 70%. But then, whoa, look at that charging speed. Zeekr's 800-volt system allows for way faster peak charging. But, and this is a big but, Tesla gets a major win back with resale value, which is a huge deal for your total cost of ownership.
Yeah, the whole charging situation really deserves its own moment. The choice really boils down to this. Do you want the best network, or do you want the car that has the potential to charge the fastest? Tesla's supercharger network is massive and incredibly reliable. You just know it's going to work. Zeekr, on the other hand, can technically charge much, much faster, but you're going to be relying on a smaller, though growing network of other chargers to hit those insane speeds.
So what about just living with these cars day to day?
Well, the Zeekr definitely wins when it comes to passenger comfort. You get more legroom in the back, and the seats are just way plusher. But Tesla, man, they are the champions of clever packaging. You get a much bigger frunk up front for extra storage, and those 40-20-40 folding rear seats are super flexible. So it really comes down to what you haul more often, people or stuff.
Okay, so we've talked philosophy, we've gone through the features, we've looked at the hard numbers. Now it's time to bring it all home and help you figure out which one of these cars has your name on it.
This right here, this is the whole thing boiled down. You're going to lean towards the Tesla if your top priorities are things like brand strength, the unbeatable convenience of the supercharger network, awesome efficiency, and having the most advanced driver assistance tech out there. On the other hand, you're going to go for the Zeekr if you care more about turning heads with a killer design, sinking into a genuinely luxurious and comfortable interior, and getting a boatload of premium features included from the start.
You know, the folks at Chasing Cars absolutely hit the nail on the head with this quote. These cars are just so fundamentally different in their approach that you're almost guaranteed to have a strong preference for one over the other. This isn't about one car being better than the other. It's about two totally different approaches and which one speaks to you.
And so we end up right back where we started, with a question for you. See, the choice here isn't about finding the best car on a spec sheet. It's about deciding what kind of experience you want to have every single time you get behind the wheel. The minimalist tech pioneer or the lavish hardware challenger? What do you value most?